Not probably. I won it 3 times. We had a rigged election. This went to Dan Scavino, but he's got so much money it doesn't matter.
Is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
We've got a few more clips of Trump speaking from the Oval Office, as this seems to be his daily routine now, being more concerned with cameras than the country. Can't say I'm surprised, but I want to debunk a few of the points he made, give context for a couple others, and see how much of this we can handle. But first, take a moment, leave us a like on this video. It's the least you can do for what I've inserted. No, I'm kidding, but it does help the channel out immensely. And other than that, strap in, let's get right into it.
If you were allowed, for some reason, to run for a 3rd term, is there a thought that the Democrats could try to run Barack Obama against you?
I'd love that.
For his 3rd term?
Oh, I'd love that. That would be a good one. I'd like that.
The world is on fire. Russia is refusing to negotiate peace. Israel is breaking the ceasefire almost every single day. The economy is tanking. War plans have leaked. Social security offices are being closed. And what Trump is focused on is how to further erode the Constitution to give him more king-like power. You gotta love that. Now, I haven't been discussing this on the channel because it's frankly nonsense. It's never going to happen. And he's probably just trying to anger people or whatever. But just briefly, the idea that if Trump did circumvent the Constitution and ran for a 3rd term or found some loophole to do where presidents can run for 3rd terms, the idea that Obama wouldn't just instantly throw his hat in and destroy Trump is laughable at best. Trump barely beat a candidate who ran for 100 days. Kamala Harris had 3 months to Trump's 3 years, and he beat her by less than 2% of the vote. 100,000 votes in a couple states with massive voter suppression in his favor at that. Meanwhile, Obama carried Indiana, a yee conservative racist state, as a black man pushing for universal health care. It would be a 50-state sweep. I cannot understate that.
So you recently bought a Tesla for White House staff to use, but now there's all these domestic terrorists targeting Teslas. Are the staff scared to drive it?
I don't think so. I haven't heard. They were complaining. I did buy one, and I let the staff use it. We have it parked conveniently, and one day we give it to Margot, one day we give it to Chamberlain, give it to Natalie, we give it to everybody around. Give it to Dan Scavino, but he's got so much money it doesn't matter. But they love the car, and it's a great car, and it's made here, and it's made in the country. It's got a tremendous plant now in Texas.
Keep this in mind. Trump promised on day one, he would bring down gas prices, energy prices, grocery prices, housing prices, that he would end the conflict on the Middle East, end the war in Ukraine before day one, that he would pass no taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security. Meanwhile, he's done none of this. His budget resolution actually won't allow for the no tax on overtime, tips, and Social Security. But you know what he has done? Multiple ads for Tesla. It's almost like he's more focused on appeasing the donors who paid hundreds of millions of dollars to help him get reelected, to deal with his legal troubles. Let's be real on what he used it on, and probably pocketed what he could. But he cares about that more than the American people he promised to represent. Who would have thought, right? The wealthy elite would favor the wealthy elites over the working class.
Big race, Supreme Court race in Wisconsin. It's taking place essentially as you know, it was early voting, so we'll see what happens. It's a big race. I love Wisconsin. We won Wisconsin. Republicans typically don't do very well in Wisconsin, but I did. I actually won it twice. I actually probably won it 3 times to be exact.
We played their side.
Not probably. I won it 3 times. We had a rigged election the 2nd time, but that's, you know, one of those things. We had to make this one.
You really have to love a president pushing debunked nonsense on a national level. Brother lost over 62 court cases trying to prove election fraud in 2020 and still can't cope. Like, you won. Just let it go. Just admit you lied. If anything, you want to talk about election fraud in Wisconsin, Elon Musk is on Twitter right now bribing voters with $1 million checks each to pledge to vote for the Republican Supreme Court candidate. Literally buying votes for the election. Literally doing publicly what these clowns have accused and pretend that George Soros does, with no evidence, mind you, all because he's a rich Jewish man and they're anti-Semitic, but conversation for a different video. But when Elon does it, now all of a sudden it's patriotic for billionaires to spend millions to influence election, and that's what Americans should do if they have billion. It's super sad, but for Wisconsin voters, for my Wisconsin viewers, be sure to go out and vote for the Democratic candidate. The state Supreme Court there will be paramount in deciding a lot of issues. And we need as many courts on our side to face this corrupt and incompetent administration every step of the way.